Hi, welcome everyone. Today we're talking to Dr. Katherine Polak from FOUR PAWS. She's the head of stray animal care in Southeast Asia. We're going to talk with her about a report that came out last Wednesday. That's one of the first actually on the cat meat trade. And they discovered that 1 million cats yearly get killed in Vietnam. Welcome, Katherine. Yeah, tell us about the report. What kind of research did you do to come to these numbers?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I wish it could be, to discuss a better, more positive topic, but unfortunately, it's, a rather sad one. So we launched a large scale investigation in Vietnam because, everybody knows about the dog meat trade. Like that's been well reported. It's common in the media, but very few people know about how rampant and how brutal the cat meat trade really is. And so we decided to do a formal investigation nationwide to really understand the mechanisms of the trade. And so we were really shocked at what we found. Cat meat consumption historically was relatively localized to northern Vietnam around Hanoi area, but it's truly spread nationwide. We're seeing restaurants pop up. The demand for cat meat is so great in some of these locations that cat populations are completely decimated. They're having to source cats literally from across the country. In some cases, cats are being trafficked 20, 25 hours in just incredibly inhumane conditions to be brutaled in very, very, horrific ways. I mean, just really shocking. I'm really happy to get this information finally out, as horrible as it is, because I think, now is the time that we really need to speak up for cats.
And we're going to show some footage that was shot by FOUR PAWS. For everybody watching, this is a bit graphic.
So particularly in central Vietnam, there are many holding areas that are used for trafficking cats. And so at these holding areas, the cats are either slaughtered, often by drowning, which you can see there, or they are trafficked to slaughterhouses across the country. It's really, it's brutal to see because cats, they, inherently suffer in silence, right? They're not as noisy. They're not barking. They don't show, their emotions quite like dogs do, but it doesn't mean that they're not suffering equally. And so, yeah, it's just really heartbreaking.
And something we just saw on the video also is that the way they kill the cats, they drown them.
Yeah, so very commonly we see mass drowning of cats, either in lakes, or they'll often have just standalone buckets on top of the cage that they will just submerge the cat in. That's just an easier way, for them to kill larger numbers of cats. And then the cats are put into poultry defeathering machines, which are used to mechanically get the fur off.
And the cats are they're stray animals, but they're also just pets, right? Because that's a kind of contradiction. In Vietnam, you see the pet, like having a cat as a pet, that is growing, but at the same time, also the cat meat trade is growing.
This is what's really interesting, right? Because in Vietnam, it's hard to find a pet owner who hasn't had at least one cat or dog stolen. Like pet theft is rampant, and it's really causing a lot of societal unrest because pet owners are sick and tired of having their animals stolen. And in many cases, we're seeing media reports of these pet owners actually beating to death these thieves that are stealing their animals. And so it's really interesting that we see this discrepancy, right? We see this growing, pet loving movement, and there are so many local groups. That's what's really exciting and positive about Vietnam, as opposed to other countries in Southeast Asia. Like we have cat lover events, cat fancier kind of clubs, many local groups that are really passionate about cats. But then you have this horrific trade. There are so many traders that are operating, to steal cats, to set little traps. They have actually little special spring-loaded traps that have a little loop that the cat goes to eat a piece of fish, and then it snaps around the cat's neck, and then they go and collect all the cats. And these holding areas are just, they're very robust. I mean, they hold hundreds of cats at a time that are trafficked literally every day. One component of it as well is that, the government has just, been turning a blind eye to this for so long. One of the shocking things I think that we found is that a lot of these cats are being trafficked in passenger bus holds, in the luggage hold. So underneath where passengers sit, you'll have cages and cages of cats and sometimes of dogs too. And you can actually hear them on the bus. Which is just, it's mind-boggling. And that bus often will go the route that we documented, 26 hours to northern Vietnam. We want to actually form a local coalition within Vietnam to really fight this issue. And we have so many very passionate, local groups that are interested. And so I think if we join together and we have a very strong voice coming from within Vietnam, we can really achieve some local momentum.